All right, we're here at Edgar High School for our weekly Jerry Sinz Show. The Jerry Sinz Show brought to you by Heil Ginseng. Fresh ginseng available now. Click on the link above or head on over to Heil Ginseng right here in Edgar. Coach, you finished up your last non-conference game of the regular season right here against Hurley on Friday, 42-0. Maybe, I know in the shows past we've told you to recap the whole thing. Maybe we'll just do it a little bit differently this time. Now that the non-conference season is done, reflect back on that and tell us everything you learned in all your non-conference games so far this year.
Well, yeah, like we were talking about before, we didn't know after the scrimmage necessarily how good we were. We thought we had a pretty decent team, but checking last week, I see the teams that were in our scrimmage are now 20-0 on the year. Menominee, rated in Division II, about second or third. Medford, I think, is rated in Division III. It's either 3 or 4, about third. Regis, I think, is rated number 1 in Division VI. And, of course, we're undefeated. So it's like, well, I guess that was a pretty good scrimmage. And then Baldwin, who we played our first game, they played us a pretty tough game, too, over there. And but that's the only game they lost. They're in first place in our conference, too. So, yeah, we've played some really tough competition, which was our plan. That's always our plan. And fortunately, we've come out of it, undefeated thus far. And now we have 4 conference games left, starting with Marathon homecoming this week.
That's right. You beat me to it again, Coach. Coach has always beaten me to the punch here, and that's why we have him here. But, so homecoming right here. You get to play your 3rd straight at home after starting out a bunch on the road here. And we joked about that earlier in the season. Each game you played, you got closer and closer. Now you've been kind of stuck here. But homecoming against Marathon, you and Marathon have one common opponent to this point, Auburndale. You took care of Auburndale 27-0 a few weeks back. Auburndale just beat Marathon 36-6 last week. I don't have my abacus with me, but that probably means you're somewhere around 50 to something in that game. Is that how you kind of planning for on Friday?
Well, you can never plan anything like that. No, we have to plan every game as if it's going to be a dogfight. As I always tell the guys, plan on it being a war, and then if peace treaty is settled early, well, that's okay. But if it turns out to be a war and you didn't expect one, you're going to be in bad shape. So that's kind of the way we plan it each week.
I know Marathon's coming over here. They're expecting a war, and we can almost see Marathon from here. Be a lot of red in the crowd on Friday. Take us through the X's and O's, what you plan on seeing on Friday, and what kind of maybe some new wrinkles, or just tell us the expectations for Friday against Marathon.
Well, they're one of the teams that is going to run an offense, kind of similar to us, where, they run 2/3 of the time, they pass 1/3 of the time. I thought maybe they'd pass a little more this year because they got Mao, their quarterback, back. But he's not throwing as much maybe as he did last year. They have 3 pretty good runners, Engage and the 2 Swino brothers. So, yeah, they got some pretty good runners. They got some big offensive linemen, 220 to 260-pound guys, pretty much every one of them. So, yeah, and like you said, it's a natural rivalry. There's a lot of relatives on the teams and things like that. So I'm sure it's going to be a hard-fought contest.
Again, you're watching the Jerry Sinz Show, brought to you by Heil Ginseng. Fresh ginseng available now. Click on the link above or visit Heil Ginseng right here in Edgar. Coach, you mentioned homecoming. It's homecoming week, and that means some of the guys maybe a little bit distracted, trying to find a lady friend for the dance, or there's all these other things going on, activities all during the week. How do you separate those activities? You still want the guys to have fun, but when they come on the football field and practice, then it's business time. How do you let them have fun and maintain their order of business here on the football field?
Well, we start talking about it right away, like as soon as the Hurley game is over. Hey, guys, homecoming week next week. And, of course, all the coaches kind of talk to that issue. We all say, hey, enjoy it, have fun. Seniors especially, it's their last homecoming you're going to have. And but come Friday night or come practice time, you better be focused in. And Friday night, you guys are supposed to be providing the entertainment. So you better be ready to put on a show.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's a lot of fun for homecoming, fun for fans, family, and like I said, for the kids here too. So I know they look forward to it. I remember homecoming games. It was always just kind of an extra fun week as far as that's concerned. Then, as we talked about earlier, we're coming down the stretch here. We're more than halfway through the season, through the regular season. You've got 4 conference games left. We talked about it a little bit this week or last week, but take us again this week. Handicap the conference as you see it right now.
Well, obviously Stratford, being rated first in the state in Division 5, and I think there's 2 teams that Chris just told me they haven't allowed a point. Stratford's one of them, and Mondovi's the other one. And Mondovi we actually played in 2017 and 2018.
That's right.
And this year they came off our schedule and we played Mauston. But apparently they've turned things around, well. But Stratford, of course, we know is going to be very tough. A couple of the other teams have been struggling. Some, Rib Lake, Prentice, and Tomahawk are two of our last games. They've had a rough year. I think they're playing a lot of young guys. So, yeah, we just have to get ready for each game and try to improve ourselves. And we keep adding a few new plays each week and maybe a new wrinkle or two in defense just to keep our kids keen and sharp,
All right, Coach. Good luck. Homecoming Friday. If any of the guys need help finding a lady friend, do you have any advice for them?
Well, no, yeah, we kid about that.
Sure.
We kid about that. I mentioned it yesterday in practice when guys didn't seem to be tuning in quite as good as they should. I said, "Are you guys worried about who you're taking to the dance on Friday?" And they were mainly giggling, so hopefully not.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Good luck on Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank
All
you.
right, Coach Jerry, you got it, Jerry. Coach Jerry Sinz and the Jerry Sinz Show, again, brought to you by Heil Ginseng. Fresh, Wisconsin-grown ginseng available now at the link above. Or head on down to Heil Ginseng here in Edgar. It is Edgar Marathon, 7 o'clock, right here at Edgar High School on Friday. Make it down to the game, and we'll bring you some highlights after the game as well. We'll talk to you next week.